Love is in the air.
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 Oh, I love you.
Oh, I love you.
Love is in the air.
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 Here at Rythmia.
Here at Rythmia.
Love is in the air.
Love is in the air.
So, I am in awe of love being in the air. And this has been quite a dance of this divine union, of this love. And it's very exciting to say, for all of you single people out there, that Ari and Jim met here at Rythmia back in May, 7 months ago.
Mhm.
And to that, they will speak and share the journey of how love is in the air. So, Ari, would you like to start with how did it all begin?
Oh, he's a better storyteller at that. But okay. So I came here in May just to work on my own personal inner healing. I'm new to personal growth. It's not my thing. I knew nothing about.
You used to think it was bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay, she's a scientist.
So I don't believe in a lot of stuff that I will probably say, but now I believe in it. So I came here to do more just growth, heal from past family traumatic wounds, work on my own personal toxic inner self, a lot of things I don't like that I want to just kind of grow in myself. So I came here on a Friday or Saturday. Everything's wonderful, breath work, yoga, the food. I'm like, oh, great, I'm at a resort. I'm so excited. I get in to do medical and I fail medical. Just for whatever reason, I'm not allowed to participate. And I had met Jim the night before and he was the outgoing group. So, they overlap us. And I started crying. I said, I need to convince them, it didn't work. He said, well, I'll be here for another 6 days in Costa Rica. If you'd like to join me, my friends, you're no obligation. You can come and just kind of settle in. And then he's better at this point.
So she suddenly had, 6-7 days in Costa Rica with nothing to do, since she couldn't participate in the retreat. And I had given myself 6 or 7 days after our week, which was before, in Costa Rica, didn't schedule anything. So the universe will show me what to do. And actually, I used to talk to sort of like a spiritual coach. And I remember her saying to me, right before I went to my Rythmia week, she knew I'd been single for a couple of years, and but she said, like, Jim, like, there's someone in your field, like there's a woman in your field, she's coming. And I did the Rythmia week, and I met her on the last day, and I really like. And I've been here 6 times now, so I really like when the new people come in. Just kind of being a friendly presence that like puts them at ease. I don't like giving away what's going to happen, but letting them know, like giving them a feeling of like excitement for what's coming. And then I remember seeing her at the salad bar. I figured, well, I might as well go up to the cutest one and help shepherd them in. And then she was a little standoffish at first, but a buddy of mine from my week made good friends with her and her roommate from the following week. Hung out that Saturday night, and she told me that she doesn't sleep, and that was actually why she failed her medical, because she'd taken some sleeping meds before coming here, without realizing it could threaten the week, being able to do the week. So when she went to bed at midnight, I was like, "What are you doing? Like, you don't sleep? Why? We could be hanging out the entire night." But she went off with her roommate to bed and stared at the ceiling all night, slept a little bit. And I was I was out late after everyone else went to sleep, and I kind of like walked around the whole grounds, like hoping I'd find her. And I did not find her that night. But then the next day, you know, she told me that she failed the medical, and then she reached out, and that night she had a dream that we would, first of all, she could feel like kind of a call to come back out of the room to like maybe come hang out with me, but kind of, I think she just kind of stayed in her head about it and stayed in the room. And she had a dream that night that she and I would become best friends. And then we end up, driving across Costa Rica together as friends, starting out. But just in the first car ride, I remember just putting out my hand and taking her hand, and that was like, okay, it was romantic from then on, and fell in love. And at the end of the week, still kind of didn't exactly know where we stood because she was in San Diego, I was in New York. And when I flew back to New York, I got into LaGuardia at like 11:30 at night, and immediately felt like, no, I'm supposed to go to San Diego. So I booked a 6 a.m. flight the next morning, never made it back to my apartment, slept in a 24-hour diner in Queens, and then flew straight to San Diego and have been there ever since. And yeah, that's a lot of it.
So it's been quite a journey and quite a ride these 7 months. And just as much as love is and was in the air, there were many things that, you know, your soul contract really brought you together in order to even more deepen this commitment. And it's work.
Yeah.
And especially the path that you've chosen of, you know, the medicine path is work. And so I know that when I met the two of you at the beginning of the week, let's just say that energetically and physically, they would not be sitting on this same couch. Do you want to speak to that?
We broke up on the drive to the airport. And the last several months, we had just been starting to spin in, you know, just patterns with each other. Like
our unhealed selves. So we got together. I hadn't done the healing. I hadn't done the work. And I thought, okay, well, I can kind of, you know, latch on to his work and we can elevate each other together. But, you know, we tried. We were doing small things, keeping small practices, but it wasn't enough because I still had my ego. I still had a lot of the trauma that I haven't worked through. So, you know, gradual decline, nothing like no big, horrible things. It's just that we weren't in sync or synergizing like we did at the very beginning. But, you know, either way, we wanted to come here either way. I wanted to come for my 40th birthday and we wanted to come as a couple, but I also wanted to continue my work. But on the way here, you know, female me, oh, you know, I really hope that this week ends up really well for us so that we're together. And his response was, I'm coming here to find truth and clarity. I'm like, well, can you say that you want us to work out? He goes, no, this is, you know, whatever the universe has in for us, whatever the best outcome for both of us. My ego self threw a fit, got out of the car. We ended up driving to the airport separately, didn't speak on the plane.
2-hour drive from San Diego to LAX.
And then,
like, we ended up doing, we start out in the car, 3 minutes in, she asks what my intention is. We have that whole conversation. She's furious. And so then we drive back. Then I call an Uber right away because I don't want to miss this retreat. And so I got a Uber. And then she calls and somehow we talk the Uber driver into going back to the house to pick her up. But then when I go back to the house to pick her up, she's not coming.
I didn't say I wasn't coming. I said I need to have a conversation so we can kind of.
Yeah. And I was like, we've done a lot of conversations and this car's about to leave. I'm not missing this retreat. So I got back in the Uber. She did not come in the car. We went off.
At this point, I'm infuriated.
You know what's funny? Like, even 15 minutes into the ride, the Uber driver was like, we can go back. Yeah, he was on your side. But I was like, no, like, it's an international flight.
He knew. The Uber driver was like, you should probably go.
Right? And then she ends up, unbeknownst to me, driving herself to LAX then. And then we run into each other at the gate.
Don't speak to each other. Don't even look. I won't even look at him. And this is the eve of my 40th birthday. This is New Year's Eve. the eve before my 40th birthday. We got on the flight separately, land in Costa Rica. I'm still not talking to him. We get into the shuttle at the Rythmia shuttle. And the two other women were like, oh my God, what is going on? There was so much tension. You could feel it. I was on the verge of a panic attack and he was visibly shaking. We get here. He asks for a separate room. They deny, they don't have another room. It's fully booked. And so we had to go the first few days in misery. At the same time, if we didn't, because of that misery, we were fully able to drop our guard, be vulnerable, not work on the relationship, not work on healing the other person for each other. But
because we broke up and friend zoned each other. That's why.
Yeah. So fully friends. And I'm in my mind thinking I'm never going to forgive him. I need to actually heal myself here, do what I came to do here so that I can find the partner that I'm meant to be with.
Same.
But I would have never done that if I was with him. I probably would, there would have been too much interference. And,
there is and was such a divine intervention because, at Rythmia, when couples come together, they are asked to separate. They're asked to go into their own journey, be on the other side of the maloka from one another in order to do exactly what you did. So there was something that was being, already orchestrated so that you can both do your work without the old patterns of like, whether it's clinging to one another or whatever was coming up in the relationship. Yeah. And so, the work was being worked on your behalf.
Yeah.
And so with that, I'd like to now, as you see, love is in the air. Not only are you back together, you are
married.
So I wasn't present for the wedding. I just know that it's a celestial party that Mitra, the medicine man shaman of Thursday night's ceremony, performs. And that was at what time in the morning did you get married?
Probably 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
After 14 hours of ceremony.
After 14 hours of ceremony.
But we had planned it the day before.
Yes. So again, you did that extensive amount of self-work. And then even obviously before you created those beautiful soul contracts of vows to the next level of your relationship, you decided that you're coming back together. And so in that moment that you came back together is when I connected with you again. And I'd love for you just to share in 1 or 2 sentences each, that moment where you just knew that this is now what is the future, that is what you're calling into your lives. You first?
Sure. When we came to this retreat, I didn't believe that she truly wanted to come to heal. And I had lost hope that she was willing or capable of working on her traumatic patterns. So I lost hope in the relationship. And I felt like, she was coming just to try to end up together. But then I saw her really do this incredible, deep, insightful work and get these on herself and on her relationship. And it just became clear, no, she is legit here to heal and do the work. And she doesn't want to be those patterns and that different types of armor that she used to wear. So that gave me so much hope. I just felt her soften and get humble and incredible.
But I think the turning point was the breakthroughs that we had on the same night where I actually merged with my soul. I thought I met my soul, but I didn't know what you guys meant with merging your soul when you actually fall in love with yourself. And you heal your heart to the point, I'm like, I don't understand what they're saying when they say that. But where I actually forgave a lot of the people that I used to blame for my pain, to me, it's not being done to me. And I'm not, I'm literally surrendering and forgiving to the pure sense of whatever happened, I can only respond now with love and joy and just the peace that I feel now. And after that happened, we actually had that the same night. He resolved a whole bunch of other issues that was blocking him from me and causing me to also, question. But, we looked at each other after that night, and there was just a look on both of our faces where we knew we didn't have to have a conversation. We just saw the healing that the other had done. And then that was it.
Yeah. When you know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So let's take this moment, because we have to start bringing this love in the air to a closing. And I know that there's a lifetime of more work ahead and future generation ahead. Maybe you want to just squeeze in that little share about the future generation.
Oh, so during the night that was actually when we were separated, Jim and I had a dream, and this is insane because we're not together. I had a dream that we made a baby in his bed. He, on the other side of the Maloka, had exactly the same vision, but slightly different, where we made a baby on my bed. And both of us were like, okay, this is, we don't want to share. It's going to make each other uncomfortable. We're not together. But, we were kind of sharing in that platonic way. And I said, you'll never guess what happened. Yeah, we had a baby. And then he goes, well, actually, yeah, we made a baby in your bed. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, now I'm going to tell you the truth. We made a baby in your bed. And we described, and the vision was exactly the same, just kind of mirror image of each other. And that's kind of the power of this oneness, this universal consciousness. It is real. I didn't believe it before. I just thought that, you're going to do some deep work. But it is so powerful. I couldn't recommend this type of work. You're going to feel a lot of pain, but you have to release it. And I am a full believer and supporter in everything that is done here. It's magical every step of the way, every healer, every shaman, everyone that works here. It's more than I could have expected, imagined, dreamed of, and I'm so happy. We have a lot of work to do still, but I know that I've done a lot of work for myself.
Yes. So let's close with the two of you looking into each other's eyes. And truly, as they look into each other's eyes, I want you to witness a miracle of divine union, divine love, and how when you do your personal work, then you can see the outcome. And so whether you are in partnership or you're single, whatever it is, we welcome you to come and do the work here at Rythmia. So it is such an honor to witness this divine love. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to hear the news.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Aho!